Scary. Fantasy doesn't do anything for me. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Chop Sports Daily, coming to you live from the Flipping Made Easy studio right here in downtown Matawan, New Jersey. It is Sturch, it is Gooch, it is Nick behind the glass. We are coming to you live from the Cabinet Creation Sports Desk. Did all that in one breath. How about that? Hope everybody's doing all right. You're back?
I'm back. I feel good. Recharged the battery a little bit.
You're on the IL for a day?
Rested is a loose term that we throw around here. Like, rested, it doesn't really happen often, but I did get to settle in a little bit and just work from bed after I got home. So I had a good, productive day. Nice day off at night.
You can find us on the Google now because of you.
Yeah, bro. I hooked up our Google business page to kind of gear more towards what we're going to be doing in the future. So good things happening.
With it. Good morning to the chat right now. Dalton Nolan saying Warriors in 7. We'll talk about that game, obviously. Bailey coming in Warriors in 6.5, if that's a stat. He's like, welcome back, underbelly of man. So
I even
you're even wearing your Manscaped shirt. How about that? Shirt. But anyway, if you guys are watching the show right now, please do me a favor. Por favor. Can you please like the video? And of course, if you're brand new to this joint, because I've been sharing this on different platforms lately, today I shared it within Dat Chat, which obviously is 3 members away from 500 members over there on Dat Chat. So go support those guys. Brand new social media platform. Like the video over there. They're doing great things over there. NFTs, blockchain, you name it. Glenn is having himself a phenomenal playoff week. Did you see his setup by any chance? He posted he's got like a projector in the backyard.
No, I didn't. I have to.
You got to get into the Dat Chat and also he posted that on Facebook too. So anyway, do that Dat Chat, but also over on the Hater Fantasy Hater Fantasy Sports Facebook page, which me and Chris are admins on, or I'm admin. You probably haven't set yourself up yet, have you?
I don't think that I got the invite.
I think you did. But anyway.
Dave, I didn't get the invite. I know how Facebook works.
Go check those guys out. We're growing that page as well. We're helping our boys over at Hater Fantasy Sports. They're going to be launching in just a couple weeks. So we're gearing up for that. We'll get more into that as it gets closer. There's a lot of cool shit going on with Hater Fantasy Sports. A lot of good connections over there as well. So we are also 1 week away from our interview with Johnny Bench, Hall of Fame, one of the greatest catchers maybe of all time. He'll be joining the Chop Sports Daily next week on Tuesday, so be sure to check your local listings. I mean, as if we're anywhere else but YouTube.
11:30.
11:30.
That's when it's scheduled for.
It is. Yeah, it is. I know his agent or his guy So anyway, that's going down next week. And that's all we got for that. Also, Patreon, of course, Patreon. We got to plug our Patreon away. It is patreon.com/Chop Sports. That is how you can support the show. Scoop, you're coming in the chat. What up, family? Did you update your credit card information? We talked about it yesterday. He's like, oh, crap. I might have gotten denied because I lost I'm like, yeah, you did, right? I was like, that's a hard conversation to have with somebody. Like, hey, man, thanks for the support. Your credit card got denied. So I did not bring that up to Scoop. He brought it up himself. But if you want to support the show, you could do so by heading on over to patreon.com.
Dave, did you see my face? I got slightly uncomfortable. I was like, oh, wait, should we? And then you're like, no, Scoop said it. So
it was good. Scoop, yes. But yeah, make sure your credit card information is up to date to support Chop Sports. We appreciate each and every one of you guys. It really makes the show tick, keeps the lights on, and before you know it, folks, we're going to be expanding again because Chop Sports, that's what we do. We don't know how to stay complacent. We don't know how to stay in one office. We will be doing multiple things coming up in the coming months. We're very excited about that. I do want to wish Dina, our former producer, well on her future plans or whatever she's got going on. She's going back to Ozark, Missouri. She's going back to hang out with all her friends there. She's going back. So we wish her well. And Dina, obviously, we see her every day. She's been on the show. She's a producer of the show. She was a character on the show. She was a personality on the show. So, Dina, we wish you the best. We love you. Thanks for everything that you've done for Chop Sports. Also, if you would like to hang out with Chop Sports, so Dina, if you're going to Missouri and you want to come back in a couple weeks, come back for the Chop Sports barbecue because we're all getting hammered. It is going down on Sunday, July the 26th, 1 o'clock to 6 o'clock p.m., Merrill Park, New Jersey. I keep doing that. Merrill Park, New Jersey. Merrill Park, Island, New Jersey. It's Woodbridge, Colonia. It's all right there. My dad asked me, he's like, how do I get there? And I was like, oh, yeah. I don't know.
I can't believe that you grew up in Fords and don't know how to get to Merrill Park.
I was a Fords Park guy, and I was a Warren Park guy. I was never a Merrill Park guy. Merrill Park is more for the Colonia yuppies of those worlds, and Oak Tree Road.
I feel like that was like the place where everybody took prom pictures for all 3 high schools.
Oh, well, no. I took prom pictures in front of my house. My limo never showed up for my prom. Oh, God. My good friend John, Johnny had to get his dad to drive us to the prom in his Ford Escort. So I rolled up in style in my prom. So shout out to Mark for that one, for his uncle having a limo business that just never picked us up. But that was a good time. But the Beer Olympics, I know you didn't get a chance to talk about this yesterday. I mean, technically they're not beer Olympics. They're just like the Chop Olympics because you don't necessarily have to drink beer. I did get inquiries from a couple guys saying, hey, do we have to drink for this?
Yeah,
I said, no.
This isn't one of those 4th of July things that you do at a frat party. It's the Chop Sports barbecue that we want to incorporate some activities and have a champion. And
room for activities.
It all comes down to wanting to compete a little bit and have some fun. To my understanding, there's no cardio events in the tournament. So if anybody wants to challenge me to something on the side, I'm willing to accept any challenges.
He's pulling the Billy Ho right now, and he wants to go one-on-one on the court.
No. I don't want to play basketball one-on-one.
Because you stink at basketball.
This is Dave, who said it about me? Was it your brother? Said I only talk shit about things I know I'm good at. Yeah, right.
Right, exactly.
I'm good. I'm not good in one-on-one because I can't pass.
You're a facilitator.
I'm a facilitator.
Yeah, you're
I can't
a point
facilitate things. I can't create my own shot. There, I said it. And if you give me a wide open shot, I miss. So,
all right. Well, anyway, so that's going down on the 26th. There is a football related game. I don't know if you saw the rules, but like Scoop was filling me in yesterday. Like you throw the ball, right? You try to get through the uprights and in the can or whatever. But if it bounces off, you get to like try to dive and intercept it, and you get 3 points. So I already said, I was like, you're gonna have grass stains all over your shirt.
Oh yeah,
you're gonna be all over the place.
I'm also not gonna drink because I want to win.
Oh, you're drinking.
No, I'm kidding. I'm going to get drunk.
Anyway, so be sure to also RSVP by doing the old email thing. It's chopsports.events@gmail.com. Be sure to do that because if we don't know you're coming, Ashley will not let you in at the door. The proverbial door. There's not actually a door, but she's going to kick you out. So that's the way it is.
We have a good, we're putting together a little playlist as well.
Oh, God.
And the Big Booty Mix will be incorporated into the playlist, guaranteed. Dave, it's solid.
You know, there are adults, like adults, like my dad.
This clearly indicates that Dave has no clue what the Big Booty Mix consists of.
Nick, do you have any idea what Big Booty Mix?
I know what it is. It's
what
great.
Am I the only guy? Like
the entire party will be on board with the Big Booty Mix. I promise, because they cut up 80s, they cut it all up, bro. They incorporate a lot. And it's fairly clean. It's fairly clean. It's like it's no worse than you would hear on Hot 97. Everything is mashed up. It's good stuff. So, and plus, you just let it go for an hour, and then you could go Big Booty Mix 23. Then Big Booty Mix 24. God. You just let it ride. But we'll put some. I'm taking any requests for the playlist. Also, as far as the barbecue goes, you have coolers, you have tables, bring them. And let us know that you could bring them.
Yeah, I mean, that would help us out.
Shit like that, we don't need to keep it.
We got Harris coming in with two 10x10 tents coming in, courtesy of the PBA, even though I think it's more Harris than the PBA, but the PBA did say they were going to help 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 us out. Also, shout out to Curtis Counts. Curtis Sells Houses, one of our big-time sponsors on Chop Sports. He came in yesterday with a nice donation for the party, so we're cruising right now. We're going to have a good time. I can't wait. I don't know what the weather looks like yet. Obviously, we're too far out, but I think it'll be a good day. I got a good feeling about this. Just like last year's party was a banger. We had a really good time over at McDonough's, but that was also 110 degrees inside. This, at least, you'll have some shade, you'll have some sun, you'll have some. You want to bring on water balloons and shit?
There's a difference between if I'm going to a barbecue, I'm okay with going there and being in the heat a little bit because you know what you're getting yourself into. You're going to dress accordingly. When you dress to go to a bar and you're out for a night out, and then it's 120 degrees.
Yeah, nothing else.
It's a very different situation because you're just dripping sweat in your out and about clothes. It's
yeah,
like trying to
it sucks because you can't really change your clothes or whatever. You can't wear a tank top.
I almost died. I took like a rip off the one hitter with our website guy.
That's right.
And I came back in and I watched Conor McGregor's ankle snap in half, and I got sick.
And you were in peril.
It was
Nobody
over
knew
for
where
me.
Gooch was at the end of the night.
It was me and Ash like halfway up Broad Street in Keyport. I was sitting on the curb,
sweating like Ewing at the foul line.
And then Jimmy walks up to me and he's like, "You okay, bro?" And I was like, "Get the fuck out of here! Don't look at me. Nobody look at me."
That's great. Anyway, so yes, that is the beer I mean, the Chop Olympics. I mean, somebody came in on
Chop
Facebook.
Sports Barbecue. And
Somebody came on Facebook. Please, if you're watching on Facebook, hit the YouTube link. You have to drink at the Beer Olympics. Okay, so we're not calling it Beer Olympics then, okay? So let's nix that. But anyway, so big stretch coming up for the New York Yankees, right? They're getting back in action tonight. Same thing with the Mets, but Yankees first. 13-game stretch, including the Rays, the Jays, the Rays again, and the Stros. So now you're looking at 4 big series for the Yankees. I would say, like, now we're going to find out what they're made of, but when you start 44-16, I think you kind of know what they're made of.
They've gone through a couple of these teams already and done well against them.
But in a row, I mean,
look,
these are back-to-back series.
They got to play us, too. You know, like when the Rays are looking at their schedule, they're like, oh, shit, we got to play the Yankees twice in the next 2 weeks. That's not an easy task. So, bro, they lost 10 games in their last 48 games. I'm pretty confident going into this. I'm not overconfident. And even if they drop 7 out of the next 13, it's like
what would you be satisfied with? Realistically, as a Yankee fan who's confident in the team right now, what would you settle for 13-game stretch?
I want to win every single game.
You want to go 13-0. I get it.
In terms of what will I settle for, anything that happens, I'll be okay with as long as it's not a complete nosedive.
Well, I need a number. Give me a number.
If they go 7-6, I'll be disappointed, but I'm not going to write them all.
But here we go. If they go, let's just say they go 7-6, they'll be 51-22. So, like, let's be honest. They're still going to be up almost 30 games.
If they go 7-6, my guess is they'll still have the best record in baseball.
I mean, Toronto coming in 36-24. The Rays are coming in 35-25. You don't want to discredit the Red Sox completely yet. They're only 3 games over 500. They're 32-29. The Astros are 37-24. They're cruising.
Got an 8.5 game lead right now.
8 right now going in. Lead. So they have a chance for some separation. Really they got a chance to really make some noise and kind of not to put the division to bed because it's literally June and going to be July. It's not going to be over yet. But the gaps between the teams and the games behind, they start taking a toll. Like when you get to July and the dog days of summer, and it's August. Like you're looking up at the standings, you're like, God damn, there are all these 9.5 games we got to make up.
The reason why I'm not worried is because the Yankees haven't been doing it with their lineup per se. You look up and down the lineup, and they're not really killing it the way that you would think a team that's playing as well as they are would be killing it. It's been pitching. So the pitching remains consistent. The lineup, you're going to have off days. You're going to have games where you score 1 run. But when the pitching is only giving up a run or 2 a game for the last 3 weeks, I'm fairly confident going into any series against anybody because we match up there. No doubt about it.
Yeah.
And I guess Aaron Boone's job is safe. Right?
You would, I mean, he ain't doing nothing wrong.
Not I guess. Aaron Boone's job is safe. We could all get off that bandwagon at least for this year and probably into next.
What up, Mike? What's up, Chop Sports? He says, Dave's cup, wash hands. I don't know what that means. Wash hands? Wash hands? I don't know. Do I have a dirt spot on it or something?
No, Dave's insecurities are pouring out.
Oh, my God. Now I'm starting to sweat. Wash hands. It says hold on to the ball, asshole.
Don't worry about it.
Anyway,
don't worry about it.
So to the Mets now. Obviously, they're still playing. They're above. Their heads are above water. They're doing very well. Still second, third best record in baseball. So they're still cruising. But now the Braves, they just decided they don't want to lose anymore, right?
Yeah, I think they're on 12-game streak now or a 13-game streak. Whatever it is, the Braves haven't lost in about 3 weeks, 2 weeks.
You meant the clap emoji, by the way. Oh. Yeah, no, they haven't lost a game in 2 weeks. They did just lose Albies with a fractured foot.
Yeah,
that's big.
And it took him a little bit to get healthy. Acuna's been dealing with a groin and a quad, and obviously he started the season on the IL with the ACL. Austin Riley been hot. Their pitching has been really good of late, but it sucks to lose Albies because I feel like he's been the lifeblood of that team since Freeman's been gone. I feel like he's their guy. Even though he had that little dust up, I feel like since that day, the Braves
you got to be
really
careful when you say dust up nowadays. I'm just letting you know.
Why?
You don't know the Del Rio thing? I guess you don't. You didn't pay attention to any of that?
I don't give a fuck about what Jack Del Rio said. I did pay attention to it, but in regards to, like what a dust up is, it's like a little skirmish, that's fine. I'm referring to
the storming of the Capitol.
I'm referring to like what happened between 2 teammates at third base,
right?
Being a dust up.
Okay.
Him and Marcell Ozuna. That is his name, right? It is Ozuna?
Yes, Ozuna.
Yeah, so since that game, I don't think the Braves have really lost. And we were looking at it like, what the fuck, this infighting. Sometimes the infighting brings you together, and obviously the Braves have played really well since that day.
So the Mets return to action as well tonight. They were off to
Am I really not allowed to say dust up?
No, it was just in comparison.
I didn't know if Kyle was
We talked about
around.
it yesterday.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, I mean, like, you know what he said, right?
Yes,
Del Rio? Okay.
Yes.
I mean, we talked about it yesterday, but you don't watch the show when you're not on. It's like Ashley not tuning in when you're not here.
It was hilarious. I was busy, though. And it was hilarious that the Del Rio comments came out, and then the next day he like doubled down on his comments, and then like 4 hours later the ESPN headline said Jack Del Rio apologizes for comments.
And not only that, deletes Twitter. Like he's gone off the face of the earth.
It just goes to show.
Anyway, you were looking at so I don't know how much I get into the World Baseball Classic. Now we're still on baseball for a second, but like you showed me the Dominican team, dude. This is like, is there even going to be a competition at this point? Like they might run the table. Like they might not lose.
I didn't really get completely into it, but
you saw the rosters are starting to come to fruition.
The Dominican team, just to get through it a little bit, and I'll just name their lineup. You could kind of do the math on who their pitchers are going to be. I would imagine Severino, if he's good to go at that time in a year. Maybe Cueto, who's been on the team for a couple. I think the last time he was their ace. But nonetheless, their lineup. Ready? Catcher is El Gary, and when it's not Gary Sanchez, the
bearded
Yankees
Gary
catcher,
is another
this is bearded
beast.
Dominican El Gary
Gets to be himself. Yeah,
we could even call him the Kraken if you'd like. But El Gary, when he plays for the DR, I think that's the most dangerous version of Gary Sanchez.
Yes,
he's going to have a full beard. They're going to allow him to be lazy and do all the things that he loves to do and hit bombs. So El Gary
and not play any defense whatsoever.
But at first base, they have Vlad. Second base, I believe, is Jose Ramirez, who's shifting over from third, and he's like an MVP candidate
for this year. Only.
Shortstop is Tatis. Third base is Manny Machado. DH is Rafael Devers. Right field or left field, I'm not sure. Take your pick. Is Juan Soto. Then they got Teoscar Hernandez, and then Marte, Kettle Marte, or is it Starling? Starling Marte,
dude. It's loaded. It's completely loaded. Like who are we gonna try out there? Trout.
And then if you look at their relief pitching,
Harper,
their relief pitching, they could really load up, if they chose. I don't know how
that's
it's gonna go. Is Castillo Dominican?
Who?
Luis Castillo. I think he might be on that team too.
Could be. I don't know.
But nonetheless, I can't imagine that they're not going to win that.
Yeah, hey, Mike's coming in. Speaking of baseball, the Barons almost won the state title the other day. They lost in the finals on Friday. I know. Shout out to that team, boy. They fought the entire year. Great squad, led by Coach Monaco, who we know is a wrestling coach, a friend of Chop Sports. So shout out to the Woodbridge Barons for doing work in baseball. So, all right. So last night, I don't know who specifically is in the chat right now. I see some names. They're popping up. But I need all you mother effers that did Boston heavy. Boston. You swayed me, you bastards, because I'm sitting here and I had the gut feel. Remember how I told you sometimes I have a feeling, right? I have this feeling like screw the analytics. I have a feeling that this is the way it's going to go. I went against my own judgment, and it's no fault of Kyle's. Like I said, he does the analytical part. He's doing what's best for the numbers, right? So that's all, people are betting here. We're going here. We're doing this. He's doing that. So I get it, right? So that's why I went with the Warriors, and I lost. I went with the Celtics, and I lost. The Warriors finish off the Celtics yesterday, 104-94. The big thing is the fact, and I thought this was insane, the fact that Steph Curry didn't hit 1 3, not one. I think it's the first time in his career that this has happened.
It's not. I think it's in his finals career. I think there's been a time where Steph didn't hit a 3 in a game. There has to have been.
I mean, this guy shoots from every wicket.
Because we would be hearing about that every single day if it was still.
Then maybe it's a final step. But even because they've been in enough finals games, right? So he doesn't hit 1 3, and everybody still did their thing. All of a sudden, Wiggins could very well win the MVP of the finals. That's crazy because he started off at like 20,000.
It's tough. It's tough to say that he's going to, but I was the one that was singing the Wiggins praises yesterday in the group chat, saying, I mean, how could you deny the guy at this point? At least put him in the conversation. I think it's a 2-man race now. There's no doubt about it. It's either Steph or Wiggins, and Wiggins is still at plus 2,000. So incredible odds for the amount of the impact that he's had on the series. If you look at the year Iguodala won the MVP, I don't think he's touching Wiggins' numbers in this series. And Wiggins is locking down Jason Tatum. And largely,
he was that video you showed me was a menace.
In the fourth quarter, Jason Tatum just didn't exist.
He's like a gnat.
He shot two air balls. He shot 2 air balls in the NBA Finals. I wonder if he's going to text Kobe about it. Stop doing that, everybody. By the way, it's like.
What?
You don't hear these things?
No, and I'm like looking at you like, dude, come on.
Devin Booker, bro, do you think that I'm being like...
I literally thought you were being...
This is not the dark arts version of me coming out. This is like Jason Tatum saying like before Game 7 of the last series...
I remember. He wore the band and...
No, but he text messaged Kobe Bryant saying, I got you, Kobe, before the game. As if Kobe Bryant's rooting for the Celtics or something. No, he's not. But that's another story.
Wait, so he texted his phone number?
Yeah. I understand. It's a cool thing. It's a nice story.
No. It's a cool thing to wear the band. You don't text
But it's also you're opening yourself up for when you do non-Kobe like things for people to be like, oh, make sure you text Kobe.
That's
so. It was an attempt at a joke.
That's not.
For those that got it, but
horrible.
Yeah, Wiggins. He's putting up doubles with rebounds. The defense in the transition game, the way he was attacking the rim yesterday. Whereas if you saw Steph they had a 2-on-1 late in the game, and I'm not talking shit about Steph to the point where I don't think he's a huge part of what they've been able to do in this series. Obviously, he's been. But when you see the difference in like the mentality between a guy like Wiggins who's rolling in the fourth quarter and then a guy like Steph, Clay and Steph had a 2-on-1. And Steph just pulled up for 3, and he allowed Marcus Smart to get back on defense, and then it became a half-court set. Whereas if that was Wiggins that got that pass in transition, he's dunking immediately.
Right.
You know, flying all over the court, playing aggressive. There's no doubt in my mind that the reason why they dominated and won that game yesterday was Wiggins. And you could point to Steph's 43 in game 4 where they were backs up against the wall, and that was a vintage Steph performance. It really was. But look what Wiggins did in that game too. He scored 17 and 16, and he played defense on the best player on the court. So to me right now, it's not even a debate in my mind as who is the actual most valuable player, and that's Wiggins in this series so far. No doubt.
The series moves to Boston for Game 6. I mean, we'll preview that on Thursday because, the game's not tonight and it's not tomorrow. So we'll preview it on Thursday night. Tomorrow we'll dive just a little bit into the NHL Stanley Cup Finals because, again, hard pressed for me to talk hockey right now. But as far as this series, like I just said, moves to Boston. We'll pick it on Thursday. I think it's a wrap. Just the way. Like all these analytics came in, like, well, Boston, neither of these teams have lost have lost 2 in a row. Well, guess what? That's done now. So we can all forget that shit. Could Boston lose another one, 3 in a row? I think it's possible, but we'll dive into that when we get there.
It's definitely possible.
So, all right. So this is a little bit of fun right now. I'm gonna pull this up. I just learned how to do this on the old Instagram because I'm old and I don't know what I'm doing. But Gooch is cultured and he knows how to do these things. So it's called it's a reel. I know what a reel is. So don't look at me like, oh, I can't believe he doesn't know what a reel is. I'm on the old Instagram reel thing, right? And if you go to effects and you go to search,
I think everybody else probably knows how to do it too.
So I'm walking through the people that don't know. So there's an NBA. There's 2 of them. Which one do I do?
The blue one on the left.
The blue one. Okay, so we're each
starting 5.
Gonna do a starting 5, and we're gonna see which team would win, right? So this is so dumb, but I wanted to do it because I think it's hilarious. And so you want to go first?
Yeah, I'll go first.
All right. Go ahead. So the starting 5 for Gooch, write them down. I'll write them down too as we go. But anyway, go ahead. This is going to be fun.
All right,
go ahead.
Here we go.
All right, your starting 5 are.
Here we go.
All right, where's the music that we need?
Clyde
right.
Drexler.
All right, Drexler. Nice. There's music.
Oh, we got Kobe. Speaking of the devil.
Wow.
Or the
Jesus.
God damn it. Bob McAdoo. God damn it.
McAdoo. Okay.
LeBron, baby.
Really? Okay.
There we go.
This is good. And
Rodman. Fucking clean it all up, baby.
All right, so that's
your
team.
I'm not really that happy with my team.
Clyde Drexler, Kobe Bryant, McAdoo, Ben McAdoo, former coach of the Giants.
I got no size. I don't even know what position Ben McAdoo played.
LeBron James and Dennis Rodman.
I think he was a point guard.
Anyway.
I'm going to get ran off the court because my team is soft as shit.
My turn. Here we go.
No size.
All right, here we go. And my number 1 pick is Kobe Bryant. Okay, off to a hot start here. Second will be Michael Jordan. Okay, this one's over. And let's see. Dave. Who? Dave Cohen's. All right, so that one evens up your bad pick. James Worthy. Okay, I'm with it. And Elgin Baylor. I kicked your ass.
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know? I got Kobe and Jordan on one team.
You got no size either. I got LeBron and Kobe, so
Kobe versus Kobe, who wins? that's the debate here. Those things are great. I'm willing to do it again.
Kyle, I knew if there was one person in the entire chat that was going to roast us for this, it was going to be fucking Kyle. No doubt about it.
I had to.
That's why when you were like, let's pick 4 each and do the tournament, I was like, let's kind of see how
he literally said, if Kyle's in the chat, it's not going to go as well as planned.
Yeah, I was like, it's going to be like Kyle and Scoop, and they're going to vote. I don't want to hear Kyle's fucking.
All right, well, I win. Kobe and Jordan over Kobe and LeBron. So that's it. Well, the other guy, James Worthy, great play. Elgin Baylor. I mean, come on, dude. Let's be serious. You have Ben McAdoo on your team, the former coach of the Giants.
Who?
Ben McAdoo, exactly. Oh man, so you lose on that.
Well, by the way,
if anybody wants to do their starting five, I got an idea.
You want to talk about Ben McAdoo? He's had success in Green Bay. Just so
Christ. Anyway, if anybody wants to do this, right?
Probably
you go on, you
hired by
do the thing, you get your 5, post it as a reel, tag Chop Sports, we'll share it, and then we'll see who's got some of these good teams.
Yeah, ideally.
Which means nobody's going to do
mine's
this.
gone. I didn't share mine.
I didn't share mine either, but I had a pretty good goddamn team.
Anyway,
Kobe Bryant.
God, that was embarrassing.
Kobe and LeBron over Kobe and Jordan, according to AJ Bascone. Well, how does it feel to be wrong? Because that's not right at all. Anyway, both of those guys, since Kobe was listed as a billionaire and Jordan's a billionaire, neither of those guys are going to worry about.
Didn't Jordan talk shit about Clyde Drexler in the?
Would you be surprised?
Talking about how he just never could win because Jordan was in the league. So
how good, by the way, is that Jeter one going to be?
Yeah.
Oh, it's going to be so good.
And
so
the Ravens.
The Ravens? Oh, they're doing the 2000 Ravens.
I don't know if they're doing like a 30 for 30 maybe.
I'm with that. 30 for 30s are great. I haven't seen a good one they're all good, but I haven't seen a new one in a long time. What?
Nothing.
Okay. Are you worried that you're going to run out of money in retirement? I know Jordan's not because he's crushing it right now. Or how you'll pay for your long-term health care if needed. Will your family be okay? Family first, folks. Stop worrying. Start planning. A comprehensive retirement plan gives you security for greater control over your money. Michael Fusco can help. As president of the Fusco Insurance Agency, Michael can work with you to create a comprehensive retirement plan. He'll explore using life insurance and annuities to help you build a more secure future so you can worry a little bit less now. Call 718-701-5787 to schedule your complimentary consultation. That's 718-701-5787. Guarantees and protections are subject to claims paying ability of the issuing company. Some insurance policies are not available in all states. So there you go. Scoop is fucking awful, dude.
I know, I saw it. I just left it alone.
First of all,
do you have the live read for me?
No, this is
I left it yesterday on the desk.
No. I just brought a bunch of papers.
But
so
anyway,
probably. Anyway, Manscaped.
Yeah, there we go. We got the graphic up. There we go.
There
Nick.
we go, baby.
So head on over to manscaped.com. Use the promo code CHOPSPORTS. You receive 20% off your entire order. Free shipping worldwide. Not much time left on this Father's Day package 2.0. So get out there now. Use the promo code CHOPSPORTS. It comes equipped with the Lawnmower 4.0. You get the ear and nose hair trimmer. You get the crop shaver 2.0. You get the boxer shorts. You get all the exfoliators. You get all the rubs. You get all the creams. You get all the lathers. Enjoy it. Your dad will enjoy it. Your mom will enjoy it. Use the code manscaped.com, CHOPSPORTS.
20% off. Worldwide. Free shipping. Did I say free shipping? Is there free shipping? Yes, there's free shipping. There's always free shipping. All right. Before we get into the next topic, Kyle says we copped out. Glad you're here because we can go over that. Did you see the drunk rant about the Saints on Chap Sports Facebook group?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. So the over-under is set at 8 games. I said it would be – I don't like the fact that it's a hard number because I can see them going 8 and 9, right? So then you push. But then if you think you're an over 500 team, you win your bet if you take the over. Where are you leaning? Because I did not cop out. I just don't like that hard number. Because I really think they might go 8 and 9 or 9 and 8. It's like a very, very close flip-flop.
The Falcons are bad.
Panthers.
The Panthers are bad.
The Bucks.
The Bucks are good, but the Saints played the Bucks really well last year. I'm going to go over 8. I don't agree with Kyle's takes on their offensive line being so beat up. They were kind of beat up last year.
Well, they lost Armstead. He's the best one in the game right now. And
how much did he play last year?
Armstead?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't remember him
he
being
was hurt a decent amount of the year last year. Nonetheless, their defense is good. They added pieces. I feel like the Saints also, it depends on their coaching staff. I'm not sure how that's going to play out more so than anything, Sean Payton being gone. But did you see the Sean Payton news, by the way?
No.
He was offered 4 years, $100 million from the Dolphins. Didn't take it.
Or from the Dolphins?
Couldn't take it. Yeah, the Dolphins were definitely after Sean Payton before they hired McDaniel.
I wonder how McDaniel feels about this.
I'm sure he feels fine about it.
I'm sure he's stoned right now on a plane.
He's got the job now. It is what it is. Or they could try and make this out to be like the McCarthy situation they did in Green Bay.
He only played 5 or 6 games last year. Armstead. It's terrible running the ball. That's coming from Kyle, not me. But
yeah, so they're if anything, they're going to be improved at the offensive line position because if they could stay healthy, whatever they had is better than the 6 games that they got out of a banged up Armstead. Now I know that going into the season, you'd like to have Armstead back. But if he's hurt and you're paying him all that money, then what good is he? So I'm not sitting here saying the Saints are going to be Super Bowl contenders, but I do think that they're going to be a tough team and not much of a difference from what they were to start the season last year.
You're with the whole, obviously, I mean, this is kind of goes without saying, but you're with the Jameis train here?
I like Jameis Winston. I know what he brings to the table as being, he throws the ball around a lot, he throws some interceptions, but I think that was a lot to do with the system. You saw Jameis last year. He was pretty solid in the first 6 games. They were a good up and down team. They were great against Green Bay, then they shit the bed. They were great.
They were very flip-floppy.
The first 5 weeks, they alternated.
So that's why it's easiest to say, they're an 8-8 team if it was a 16-game season. But you add that extra game, it makes it's very hard.
But the game that Jameis Winston got hurt in, I believe Trevor Siemian came in and they beat the Bucs on the road in that game.
They did.
They were a team that was capable of going on the road and beating a really good football team. I just don't see enough roster turnover in terms of guys that they lost. Like I said, it's a lot to do with the coach. I got to see how that plays out.
Defense took a hit too. They lost Malcolm Jenkins to retirement and Marcus Williams. So they're second and third best tacklers.
They signed Tyrann Mathieu, and I believe they added somebody else as well.
Yeah, no, listen, I love the Honey Badger. I think he's a great addition, but
I feel like that's an upgrade over Malcolm Jenkins.
We'll see. Speaking of NFL,
I'll go with the over.
All right, you're going the over. I'm still kind of undecided, I guess. I mean, I want to see how this plays
Dave's
out.
Still copping out, but
I'm not copping out. Give me the under. Fuck it.
There you go.
We'll go against you. Boom, done. Marcus May from the Jets is who they signed in the secondary. But anyway, speaking of the Jets, there's a guy on that team that jumps on our list here as we hit to the quarterbacks of their sophomore season. So we're interested to see. I have some pluses, meaning I think they're going to improve. I have some question marks, meaning I don't know their situation. And I got some minuses thinking that they're going to decrease or decline. I'll start with Trevor Lawrence of the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think the guy takes the next step. You added a guy like Christian Kirk. You added a guy. I don't know how much Evan Ingram's going to be anything. Honestly, I think he stinks. He can't catch the football. But maybe, hey, listen, new change of scenery. Maybe he's better. He was lined up as a receiver a lot with the Giants too. So, he's got the size and the ability to run some crisp routes. But I don't know how I feel about that. They still got DJ Chark, right? That's a thing, right?
No.
Chark left too?
No, I believe he's in Detroit maybe now.
I thought Chark was still there. What? Did they have anybody? I know Keelan Cole left. He's with the Jets now. But I thought Chark was, I don't know. Anyway, it doesn't matter. I'm looking at Trevor Lawrence, and I think he takes the next step. He's got a better coach now, Dougie P. As much as I don't like him for his Super Bowl run with the Eagles, he's definitely good with the quarterback, especially young quarterbacks or guys that are weathered the storm, like a Nick Foles. Now he has somebody that can lace it. So I think Trevor Lawrence takes the next step in 2022.
I believe that Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars in general take a leap forward this year. I don't want to say that they're going to be a playoff team because that's crazy.
I think you already did.
Predict. I said that they're going to be a little bit better, and I wouldn't be surprised if they contended for the playoffs. But the problem is the Colts are really good. 7
teams might as well.
But the Colts are really good, and they're not going to win the division. So looking at the AFC West, there's some really good teams that you could think are going to control the wild card situation. But because they're in a bad division, the Jaguars, they really do have a chance to win some games
within
and pad their schedule a little bit. And then you never know at the end of the year. You beat a good team, and all of a sudden you're in a good spot. I wouldn't count the Jaguars out. I do think Doug Peterson is the perfect fit for this team because they're going to dumb everything down. Beware, and I think it was it Sean Redden who came into the chat a couple weeks ago, and I think what he said was pretty profound, and this is for the fantasy football players. Be very wary of drafting a Jaguars receiver in fantasy football because what Doug Peterson does to receivers is just not a good situation. He doesn't give a fuck about the number 1, the number 2. It's going to be run the ball, as it should be.
Their receiving core is kind of funky. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. It's Kirk, Marvin Jones.
Okay,
Zay
Marvin's
Jones.
still good. Who?
Zay Jones from the Buffalo Bills.
I remember Zay.
No,
love
he was
Zay.
from the Raiders.
No, he's on the Raiders. Remember, love Zay.
Oh,
Great player.
But I get them confused. Maybe Zay Jones was on the Bills prior to, but he was definitely a Raider last year because I remember watching him and Derek Carr.
And after that, it's really just not a lot of. There's not a lot of depth left in that receiving core.
Like I said, I think under a new coach and on a new regime, I think the Jaguars are better off this year. They have a running game coming back. Travis Etienne, they obviously got the kid they drafted. So the Jaguars are going to be better. So with that means better quarterback play. That's where I'm at with that one.
Yeah, I think Trevor Lawrence wins some more games this year. I don't know that his numbers are going to translate, but I think they're going to be good.
Yeah.
Better.
Moving on to the Houston Texans quarterback, Davis Mills. Now, I put a question mark next to Davis Mills, and I just looked it up. The Texans wide receiver group, who he's throwing the ball to. We all know Brandon Cooks, but I'm surprised they didn't move him yet.
They actually just extended him.
Philip Dorsett, which, again, journeyman, right? Nico Collins, Chris Conley.
Nico Collins was a solid guy. He was like
John Mechie III.
not bad last year.
Their tight end is Brevin Jordan. Oh, boy. All right. So, and their running backs, right? Jesus Christ. Marlon Mack is listed as their starting number 1 running back right now. And then Sexy Rexy Burkhead is behind him.
Yeah,
the Texans have a chance to be a very bad team.
Sneaky draft pick. I feel like the Texans running back is going to arguably potentially be the number 1 rookie running back in fantasy. He definitely has a shot. I can't think of the name off the top of my head, but definitely got a guy that they're going to bring in and probably compete for number 1 running back reps, no doubt. Could you pull him up? Could you look at the Titans running back that they drafted? If somebody could just drop it in the comments, Kyle.
But I'm saying, as far as Davis Mills goes, like, do you think this kid has the ability to? It's hard for me to. I mean, Lovie Smith is the coach now, so he has a little bit of a veteran leader in Lovie, and I'm thinking to myself, I can't say plus or minus because it's like there's so many moving parts with the Texans. They just stopped caring last year after the Deshaun Watson nuts bullshit.
It's going to be tough for him to win more games than they won. I think they surprised some people last year. Their team isn't good. They're not going to be much better this year.
Damian Pierce.
Yeah, there you go. So they're not going to be much better this year, but Davis Mills had a quietly solid season. If you look at all the rookie quarterbacks,
right? And
he was.
He just had a shitty
I would
team.
Say, if you look at the numbers, I would say he probably had the second best season out of everybody.
You know why? Because I think he played the
Fields.
most games too.
But that's my point. And they were down a lot, and I feel like he won a little bit of the confidence of whatever teammates are remaining.
Yeah, like last of the Mohicans.
Major turnover with the Texans, but last man standing and winning games and proving it on the football field matters the most. He's got the size. I'm a big Davis Mills fan because he just looked like a guy like Mike Glennon to me, and he actually turned the corner and played well, so I gave him the credit he deserves, but I'm not going to say he's going to be better because the team is really bad and he doesn't have the pedigree. So he's going to do the exact same thing.
Now, I bring another question to the table. Trey Lance. Now, as of right now, we all know that everybody's up on him and they're saying he's going to start and Garoppolo's on the move and all this other stuff, right? Nothing's happened yet. We're into mini camps now. So both quarterbacks are there, right? It's hard for me to say like Trey Lance takes the next step because I don't think he's taken a step.
Yeah, he hasn't taken a step yet, but he has. He had a little bit of success.
What do you have?
But
Like
in
4 attempts.
They put in some packages for him, and he had a little bit of success. But yes, he hasn't really made his first step into the league yet as a starter and going in and having the whole offense in a training camp behind him with all the 1 reps. Things like that are going to do wonders for him, and we're going to actually get to see what he's about. The 49ers they traded up, they invested a lot to get to him, and they're letting Jimmy G go, who's proven that they could win with him. Maybe they haven't won at all, but they've had some real success with Jimmy G under center. And for them to move on from a guy that's taken them deep into the playoffs multiple times, you got to buy into the Trey Lance hype as of now, and I do believe in their coaching staff's ability to decipher what they think is a good quarterback or not, because they've been around a bunch of good ones. So yeah, I'm going to say he's going to be a lot better than people think. He has a chance to crack the top 10 in fantasy, no doubt about it.
I'm with it. All right. One guy I think will definitely take the next step, and there's no question in my mind, and that's Zach Wilson. You know why he is going to take the next step? Because he fucking has to. The Jets cannot screw this up. They surrounded him with decent talent. They've spent some money. They've drafted well. They got a decent running game. They've worked on their offensive line. This is it. You don't have your number 1, right? You don't have this one guy that can take the top off the cover off the top of the defense. But you got serviceable dudes, and I think the Jets have to
now though. They got some rookie. They got the speedster.
Correct,
rookie,
but I'm saying it's unproven, unknown right now. But I'm saying looking at the Jets, I'm like this is it. This is make or break because if this doesn't work, this is going to be 2 failed quarterbacks within a calendar 5 years. Between Sam and him. So it's got to work, and that's why I think that he has to take the next step.
Well, just because it has to work doesn't mean it's gonna work. I do agree he's going to be better because I believe that the coaching staff is got the right idea. They're going the right direction, and they're not going to ask him to do too much because if you see what they've invested early in the last 2 drafts is the running game. They're going to run the shit out of the football. Robert Saleh is cut from the same cloth as the 49ers system.
And the Shanahan system.
Shanahan system. So their plan isn't going to be to just throw Zach Wilson to the Wolves and have him throw the ball 55 times a game. If that's the plan, it's not going to work. They do have a good offensive line in the making. So he should take another step just by proxy. You can't be much worse than you were last year. But even if he doesn't take that real leap in year 2, if he has like a very similar year 2-esque of like a Josh Allen made his leap in year 3. So you got to give some of these kids a little bit of time. But they are doing the right thing, and I do think that there is the upward trajectory happening. So I'm going to buy in on him making a leap. I just don't know that he's going to be like a Pro Bowl talent right now, but
I got big expectations for Zach Wilson this year, so we'll see. 2 guys that I think are negatives for me: Justin Fields of the Chicago Bears. Now they've done him no favors. They've traded away, or they've gotten rid of, or let walk out the door Allen Robinson. Right? You look at that. Mooney might take the next step as a receiver, but you've done nothing for this kid. They lose a lot of parts. I just don't think they did enough for him to succeed and take that next step. I think he struggles. I think he's on the run a lot. And maybe that does work to his advantage and his style of play, but you still got to have playmakers down the field to do
he's
something.
Make a ton of dynamic plays.
Right.
Mooney is a very underrated receiver. He's one of the better route runners in the league. But another situation where he was dealing with Trubisky just airmailing the ball to him, much like Justin Fields is going to be doing. Justin Fields, like you said, he's going to be on the run. They don't have really that strong of an O-line. Definitely not a great pass-protecting O-line. And their defense isn't really what it was. They moved off Khalil Mack. So the Bears right now, I think they're struggling to find an identity. And Justin Fields basically at this point is their identity. Him and David Montgomery, I think, are just going to alternate carries. And then you're going to see Justin Fields on 3rd and 6 skip a 5-yard out to whoever receiver is open.
So the receivers here, I'm looking at it. It's Darnell Mooney, which we just talked about. Equimanius St. Brown, Byron Pringle, Tajay Sharp, another journeyman, Dante Pettis. This is bad. This is not a good receiving core. And you're looking at the tight ends. Cole Kmet, we saw him. He came on a little bit. The running game, it's now going to be solely on David Montgomery, because Khalil Herbert, as much as he's come on in replacement, I don't know if he can hold.
Looking at the Bears right now,
that's a bad team, dude.
They have a potential to pick number 1 next year.
That's and Bears fans, I'm sorry, I know you're out there, but I don't see it. I don't.
Talking to you,
Rube and Jay Silva and DJ Mario and like all these guys that I know that are diehards. I don't know. I can't see it. And finally, Mac Jones. I'm putting him on the no-go, on the no. That he's going to regress a little bit. I don't think the Patriots know what the hell's going on right now. I think that their offensive, just the scheme itself, when you take a defensive coordinator or a special teams guy and you make the offensive coordinator, it's just things are going weird in New England, and I don't think they've set Mac Jones up for success in year 2. I just don't.
Yeah, they didn't, but if you looked at their roster going into last year, you were saying it's all dumbed down. They put big money into Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith, and that's kind of what their offense was. Games like the Buffalo Bills game where they had 3 pass attempts the entire game, that's the kind of offense that the Belichick regime is trying to run right now, because Mac Jones doesn't have any weapons, and it's another unfortunate situation because you have a young quarterback that's trying to develop, but you're going to stunt his development because you just don't have anybody to help him. But
they did sign Devontae Parker, which again,
that is big.
He's big.
That is big.
But that's it.
I feel like he's very underrated.
Kendrick Bourne I like too. Nelson Aguilar. They have like these number 2s all over the place. That's not setting a guy up for success.
They have 2 offensive coordinators that neither of them are actually an offensive coordinator. But there's this element of the Belichick regime where he did things different the entire time, and now because he's older and it's a new league and everybody's kind of doing things a little bit different, and it's more of a passing air raid offense type deal. But Bill Belichick, there's something about him where it's like I just can't say that I'm going to write Mac Jones off in year 2.
You can't write off Belichick, but you can write off the front office.
I don't understand why they had what was the guy? It was like Deion Branch and somebody else playing like DB, and they were winning Super Bowls way back in the day. And
correct. So they've done some funky shit to win some Super Bowls.
And they've always done it, and I'm not going to write them off. So I'm going to say Mac Jones, he has definitely, I would say the odds of him regressing are stronger than him improving, but I feel like he's going to be even keel as well, much like Davis Mills. The Patriots will will be decent, but
those are
their
your
offense is
6
gonna
quarterbacks heading into their second year of action. But it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting to see that. Before we get out of here, I did watch something right before we went live, and something I missed over the weekend, and that was the Glover Teixeira fight. Holy hell! Like what a great fight. However, he falls short, and he loses the light heavyweight crown over the weekend. UFC is starting to pick up some steam. They usually do this around the summer. They try to get some banger of the pay-per-views. This one delivered, right?
Yeah, bro. The whole card was great. You had Joanna champion or former champion get knocked out cold by a spinning back fist in what was like a rematch of arguably the most epic fight in UFC history. Definitely the best women's fight ever. And then Joanna retired, so happy trails to Joanna. I wasn't really a huge fan of her, but she was definitely an exciting fighter. But this fight, bro, the main event in this, first of all, Glover Teixeira, the fact that he was able to finally break through and win the belt at 42, largely because John Jones vacated it, because
whatever,
nobody would have taken the belt from him, and he would have destroyed both these guys. But hats off to Glover. And when I say durable, this motherfucker was getting the shit kicked out of him in rounds 2 and 3. If you watch the fight, everybody knows you can't do it justice by explaining it. It was just a back and forth war, submission attempts, knockdowns, takedowns, scrambles. And with 18 seconds to go, I feel like Teixeira had the fight in the bag and he got submitted. And hats off to Yuri PROCHAZKA. I believe that's how you say his name. Unorthodox fighter, but he's definitely got star power in the UFC.
What's he doing with the hair?
Bro, he's a samurai. If you watch the way this guy operates, you would
feel like he would
understand.
be much more effective if he just shaved his head.
If you watch the way this guy operates, you'd understand entirely why he has that.
I mean, I'm sure there's a method to the madness. I just don't.
He's training with like samurai swords and shit like that, much like Aaron Donald, but he's actually a fighter and a ninja, so it makes sense for him. But yeah, Yuri, I'm excited to see what's next for these guys, but the division is kind of weak. Forget about the 205 division. I think this guy's going to kind of control it for a little bit. The rest of the UFC, what do we got on tap, Dave?
Looks like stuff. UFC 276. The summer's coming up. This one's going to be on July 2nd. This one headlining by Adesanya against Cannonier.
Cannonier. Yeah.
I like that. I like the Volkanovski fight. That's the featherweight title bout. Volkanovski against Max Holloway. So that one's going to be a good fight. Sean Strickland, Alex Pereira, Misha Cupcake is back in the house for July 2nd. And your boy Sugar Show is back as well. Sugar Show, Sean O'Malley will be in the house. He's a heavy favorite, but you don't think that's a runaway. Pedro Munoz.
Yeah. I was just making sure that there wasn't a replacement.
But no, as of right now, it's Pedro Munoz.
Pedro Munoz is definitely a guy that has the ability to take O'Malley out of his game and just take him down and beat him up. But we'll see. O'Malley's a heavy favorite. O'Malley's a heavy favorite because he's the fan favorite, and they're manipulating the UFC odds a little bit different than they would do for an NBA game. Everybody knows who O'Malley is, so it's going to be hard for them to not make him a huge favorite because he's going to get bet on a lot.
Okay, as we move to UFC 270, what was that, 277? So this is 270, yeah, no, 276. 277, educate me here. Pena against Nunez. What? Is somebody going up?
No.
They both got belts.
Oh, yeah, maybe Nunez. See, Nunez is the champion.
It's a bantamweight title bout.
Nunez was a champ. She lost one of her belts.
And now she's going back to get it.
To Pena, and now she's going back to get it. So
she is I'm like, wait, what happened?
She's not a champion in that division, though.
Kai Kara France, who definitely had a great showing the last time he was out there.
Yeah, he's actually had like 4 or 5.
He's getting a title shot against Brandon Moreno for the. That's actually an interim title bout for that one. Derek Lewis, my balls is hot, is back. So, look, UFC on the rise right now. I know you said something about John Jones coming back.
John Jones fight. He was supposed to fight Stipe in August, and I'm pretty sure that's on tap still, but just for September. It's not official yet, but John and Stipe, I think, are both on board. Stipe just wasn't going to be ready by the end of the summer, and John, in true John Jones fashion, was like, I want the best version of Stipe. So we'll see. The longer
let's get John Jones to that fight.
Yeah, the more time we have in between like an announcement and a fight, there's more things that John Jones could do wrong. So the sooner the better. They also did just announce that Usman is fighting Leon Edwards, I believe.
It's not going to be in July.
August.
So 20th,
yeah, maybe
I'm very surprised. Maybe just because of how the calendar lays, but like July 2nd and July 30th, they have 276 and 277 within one calendar month.
Yeah, I think it's Fight Week is one of those weeks, International Fight Week in mid-July. So
okay,
they'll probably have a fight night on that Friday.
They do. They got a bunch of stuff going on.
Contender series during the day. They'll have all that shit going on.
International Fight Week. I like it. Blades is back. That's July 23rd. He's back. And then you look a little deeper into the August 6th. That's not much. That's a fight night. There it is, Usman Edwards. Anybody else on that card?
Not yet. They usually name the headliner,
Yeah,
and
that's
then
it
they'll
right
kind
now.
of fill out the card from there. That was announced yesterday.
Interesting.
Even though that's been on tab, they knew it.
I
Just
mean, yeah,
Usman
that's
had
been
the
talked
injury.
about for a while, so it's just about time that they got it going. But yeah, so that's that. UFC. I'm glad because I mean it's been a while since I've been interested into a card, and I think they need to bulk it up a little bit.
It always goes down. Nobody gave a shit about this last card. Nobody. And it was the best card that I've seen this year. So
The best card or best fight?
best card.
Yeah.
It was a really good. It all delivered. Yeah, it was just a very exciting card.
Okie dokie. Okie dokie. All right, so that'll wrap it up. Actually, we not saying we always have these shorter shows, but we do have obviously the NBA Finals. They roll on Thursday. We'll preview that on Thursday. The Yankees back in action, like we said earlier today. They got themselves a big series coming up. The Mets are back in action as well. The NHL Stanley Cup playoffs roll on into the Stanley Cup Finals. That happens. Actually, you know what? Nick, before we get out of here, interested to take your take on the thoughts about Kako's scratch.
Well, if I'm
Educate the fans as to what Gallant said.
so pretty much he was just like, it was my decision to scratch him.
Paraphrasing, yes. Go ahead.
My decision to scratch him. He for some reason I think he thought that he would get better play out of Dryden Hunt, pretty much, and I don't think that he would have. And he didn't, because Hunt really was a non-factor in that game.
And they brought back homeboy who was already banged up, and he looked like he couldn't even finish the damn game. So it's like that's the reason why you make these specific moves with the healthy scratches and shit. But it's like, what are we doing? You can dive into more Ranger stuff as we go on into the off season. There's plenty of moves to be made. I'm interested to see what they do with Kako because I don't know. I don't call him a bust. I just he just hasn't fit in. I don't know. It's weird. It's just a weird dynamic. But
he needs time.
We need a hockey podcast. You ready for this or what?
Sign me up.
Hell yeah. All right, let's go. Anyway, that's a show. Please continue to support Chop Sports by heading on over to the YouTube channel. Subscribe to that. Head on over to the Hater Fantasy Sports Facebook page. Like that. Then you can go over to Dat Chat. You can like that. There's a lot of stuff going on. All good stuff with Chop Sports. We got some new neighbors coming in July 1st. So we have a lot of cool things coming in, on the docket. And as we get prepped for this massive party that we're about to get going, I mean, I'm excited about it. I know it's come up. It's kind of come up pretty fast. So
yeah,
all of a sudden we're ready to rock and roll. Merrill Park, get involved. Subscribe, please like this video. And that'll do it. So for Sturch and Gooch, and of course, Nick behind the glass, this has been another installment of the Chop Sports Daily. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
And yes, Kyle, I am ready for Thursday, and I am ready for
sorry,
my team
Kyle.
totals.
Yes, we're coming in Thursday. We'll figure out what time and stuff. You can make sure the interns are well taken care of and whatever. But yes, we're coming in Thursday.